You know that feeling, right? You're staring at your screen, you're about to make a pretty big decision, and you just feel like there's a crucial piece of the puzzle missing. Well, today we're going to talk about a really powerful idea called complete context. It's a way of seeing the past, the present, and the future all at once, so you can make much smarter choices. Let's break down how it all works. So, first things first, what does complete context actually mean? It's a term that gets thrown around a lot, but believe me, it is way more than just having access to a fire hose of information. It's about having the right intelligence, structured in a way that actually helps you think, not just, search. Okay, so complete context is really built on three fundamental pillars of awareness: the past, the present, and the future. Now, most of the tools we use today only give us a little glimpse of one of these, but the real power, well, that gets unlocked when you bring all three together. So let's dive into each one. First up, past context. The best way to think about this is as your organization's total institutional memory, instantly accessible and ready for you to use. This is all that knowledge that's normally locked away in people's heads or maybe buried in some email thread from 2 years ago. It answers those critical questions like, what decisions actually led us to this point? Why were they made in the first place? And this is a big one. What have we already tried and what were the results? It's really all about learning from your history, not constantly repeating it. And here's where it gets super practical. Imagine you're proposing a new go-to-market strategy. Instead of starting completely from scratch, a system with past context could immediately tell you that, hey, a similar approach was tested a year ago, and you'd see it got a 23% pipeline growth, but it required 3 new hires, and the stakeholders were really worried about the customer acquisition costs. Just like that, you instantly know what worked, what didn't, and exactly which questions you need to prepare for. This kind of institutional memory is absolutely crucial during big changes, like a rework. Usually, when those org charts sift, so much valuable knowledge just gets lost in the shuffle. But when that context is preserved independently of the structure, all that wisdom sticks around. New managers can get up to speed on their team's history in no time, and projects don't just stall because nobody remembers the backstory. This is so important, especially when you think about senior leaders who might be nearing retirement. All that hard-won wisdom they have, those decades of insights and lessons, it doesn't just disappear when they leave, it becomes a permanent, living part of the organization's legacy, ready to serve future generations. Okay, so we have the past. Now let's build on that with our second pillar, present context. This is all about what we call situational awareness. Situational awareness is just what it sounds like, knowing what's happening right now across the whole organization. Who is working on what? What are their current priorities, their pressures, their constraints? It's really about moving out of your own bubble and understanding the bigger picture that your work fits into. Okay, so imagine you're about to write to a key stakeholder. What if you knew, right in that moment, that they were in the middle of a brutal budget review? They had just lost 2 team members, and they were under pressure to prioritize projects with immediate ROI? That knowledge would completely change how you frame your request, wouldn't it? Of course it would. See, you're no longer just throwing your idea over the wall and hoping it sticks. You're showing how your idea solves their specific current challenges. And this is more than just being effective. It's about building empathy right into your communication. You're making every single interaction more intelligent and, honestly, more human. And that brings us to our final dimension, future context. This is where we move from just reacting to what's happening to actually anticipating what's going to happen. This is anticipatory intelligence. This is all about thinking ahead. Where is this conversation or project headed? What are the very next decisions that need to be made? What approvals will you need down the line? It's like seeing around the corner and proactively planning your next moves, instead of being constantly surprised by them. For example, let's say you're drafting a proposal. A system with anticipatory intelligence could suggest the next logical steps for you. It might pop up and say, hey, to get this approved, you're going to need sign-off from engineering, finance, and legal. Want to loop them in now? This helps you map out the entire path to success, right from the very beginning. And this is the key. It's not just about writing one perfect message. It's about orchestrating the entire sequence of communications that you need to actually drive an outcome. And that, right there, is the real difference between just sending a message and actually making progress. So each of these dimensions, past, present, and future, is incredibly powerful on its own. But the real transformation, the real magic, happens when you unify them. Think about it for a second. You have three totally different types of context. You've got the history, you've got the current situation, and you've got the likely future. The magic is seeing them all in one single coherent view. You're not jumping between 10 different apps or trying to hold all these conflicting ideas in your head. You're just seeing the full picture all at once. The best way I can describe this is like driving a car. Without complete context, it's like you're driving at night with your headlights off. You can only see what's immediately in front of you, and it's super stressful. But with a unified view, it's like having perfect visibility. You can see the road behind you in the rearview mirror, what's around you right now, and the path stretching out way ahead of you. And when you have that level of clarity, well, the results are just transformative. You naturally start making better decisions. Your messages become way more persuasive because they're fully informed. You can anticipate problems before they blow up into full-blown crises. And you finally get to build on what works instead of constantly reinventing the wheel. So I really want to leave you with this thought. Complete context isn't about getting more information. It's about getting the right intelligence at exactly the right time. It's the fundamental difference between simply reacting to the work that comes your way and truly driving it forward. So ask yourself, how much more could you accomplish if you could see the whole picture?